Hey there guys, it's Liz here. Happy Friday, and it's my 27th birthday today, so I'm so excited to be able to come on here and share it with you guys and share my newest protein ball recipe. I was going to do this yesterday, and then I had a little bit more of an impromptu Facebook Live to do, but I'm excited to share these with you guys, and my goal is to keep bringing these to you because I know how popular and how easy they are for people to be able to have. So hey Lisa, thanks for hopping on. Can't always read everything from the screen here, but thank you guys all for joining. So I'm going to be sharing this with you, and then I'm going to post the recipe, maybe a couple different variations after I'm done here. I'm going to post it in the comments, but I want to tell you guys how I made this and how you can make a little bit of changes on your own depending on what your specific goal is. Maybe some foods that you like and some foods that you don't like. Some people, for example, won't do oats. Some people don't like honey and they want to try something else instead for that little cohesive agent. So I'll tell you guys what I did first, and then I'm going to tell you how you can mix it up and maybe what time of day is best for you guys to have these because they are a little bit higher in sugar. So we know as far as s'mores go, you have the graham cracker, you have the chocolate, and you have the marshmallows. So you have to think that everything is in there is something that is going to be adding a little bit more sugar, a little bit more carbs, a little bit more, calories. I hate to even talk about, counting calories because most of you guys know that that's not me. I really focus on what makes up the calories. But this is something that is a little bit higher in sugar. So honestly, I would consume it more either like before a workout or more of like a post-workout, like snack or meal, okay? So of course I always have a nut butter almost all the time as my base. So I did peanut butter, you can do cashew butter, almond butter, whatnot. You could even get maybe like a peanut or an almond butter that has like a little bit of a honey flavor, or if you have a maple flavor, that would taste really good with this. But I just had regular peanut butter, so that's what I used. Then you can optionally put in like a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I added that in there, and I used agave. Now you have to think, a lot of times we get graham crackers that have honey in them. So I think that regular honey would be great, but honestly, mine, I wasn't going to have enough in my stash. So I wanted to use agave because I had more of that. So I had agave in there. I'll post the exact proportions after this. And then guys, especially for somebody that is gluten-free, has celiacs, whatever it may be, for whatever reason you want to try and go gluten-free, which I know myself and a lot of my clients do. Hey Tiff, thank you. Thank you very much for saying happy birthday. Love you. So putting graham crackers in there, I was on the hunt yesterday for gluten-free graham crackers, and I figured that there were some out there, but they weren't that easy to find. So there was one brand at Giant, that's the store that I typically go to for my groceries, and they're called Pamela's. So if anyone wants to know if there's a gluten-free graham cracker out there, I'll tell you it's twice as much as like a regular Nabisco or whatever graham cracker, but they're really good. Honestly, I opened them up when I was making these yesterday, and I'm like, this is going to taste like total crap. Like, because there are definitely some gluten-free things out there, guys. I don't know if you've ever tried gluten-free Pop-Tarts, but the ones that I've tried, I'm like, you are better off just like either eating the gluten, or if you can't eat it, like just don't eat this at all, because you're trying to make something gluten-free that really it's either it should have gluten or it shouldn't. Like, don't make a gluten-free version. But the graham crackers are really good. So this is Pamela's. So I would suggest using these if you want to go gluten-free, okay? Then I put in my protein powder. Of course, guys, I always use the Physique protein powder, minimally processed at the lowest heat possible, and a good whey casein blend, RBGH free. So I put a scoop of that in there. Then I put my oats in there. You can use oats, or like I said last time when I was doing this other protein ball recipe, guys, if you're not an oat person for whatever reason, I like it because of the texture. I really do. I like something, like good and like flaky and thick in there. But if you want something that's really ground up, you can either grind up your oats a little bit more finely, or you can use coconut flour, or you can use something like a little bit more, maybe like flaxseed. You can throw chia seeds in there. You can throw some type of other like carb substance that's going to help you out. Almond flour, there's brown rice flour. There's so many different things that you can use. You don't have to use oats, but that's what I put in there because I love the consistency. Then I put in my 1/4 cup of chocolate chips, okay? Guys, just because it's s'mores doesn't mean you need to load it up with chocolate. This is actually really good. Like I said, a 1/4 cup in like any batch is plenty enough. And guys, these get really sweet. So when I put the measurements below, don't overdo it. I promise you. Like, don't change anything unless you're doubling it. Okay. So you can do that, or you can add in a little bit of, if you want to do like vanilla, white chocolate, whatever you want to do. And then the marshmallow. So I was debating whether I wanted to do Guys, I mean, marshmallows are just like processed. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally just pure sugar. You don't need much. I did a 1/4 cup of these marshmallows. And so I actually saw at my mother-in-law's house, if you get like some type of spice, you know, guys, if you end up using some type of seasoning and you have like little bottles like this, or a lot of times if you're doing cupcakes or regular cakes, you can get sprinkles in maybe like a little container like this. Well, they make little mini marshmallows like you would get in maybe like those individual packets of cocoa, of hot cocoa. They actually make them really, really small. And I saw hers and I was like, those would be perfect. I'm going to look at Giant or I'm going to look at Target, and one of them is going to have it. Well, no one had it. So I have to go look at these other places. Maybe Redner's has it. I mean, I'm sure if I went to, you know, Whole Foods and all these different places with a lot more groceries, I'd be able to find it. But I was stuck with just like, you know, the little mini, you know, Jet Puff marshmallows. That's fine. So I was like, you know what? These are really thick to like stick in my protein ball here. So I tore them up. So you literally just tear them up, roll them into little balls yourself, and just throw them all in the bowl. So it literally worked just as well. Or honestly, if you just wanted the marshmallow flavor and wanted it to be really swirled up, you could probably just put some, you know, mallow, if you're making like a, peanut butter and mallow sandwich. I don't even eat that. I know my husband likes that. But if you wanted to do that, you could just use a 1/4 cup of that instead of a 1/4 cup of the little mushed up, rounded up, tear it apart marshmallows, okay? So that is what I put together in here. Now, I'll tell you, these are really sweet. Like, I usually, like, I made my protein balls smaller this time. They're probably about like a tablespoon in thickness. I'll tell you, like, I had one of these and I'm like, wow, like, that's really sweet. I like it, but it was enough. And a lot of times if I make them a little less sweet, I'll eat a couple more of them. So maybe it's a good thing if you want to make it sweeter, if you're someone that's like not a huge sweet person, where you're like, hey, you know what? That was sweet enough so that I just cut my sweet cravings and that's it. Or if you're like, hey, you know what? I want to be able to enjoy a couple of these. There's different types of things that can sweeten it up. Like maybe you would just cut this out. If you don't want as much sweets, take out, you know, the teaspoon of vanilla extract. To me, like, I can really taste that in there. Or maybe you want a protein powder that is a little less, you know, sweet flavor, maybe something a little bit more bland. You know, maybe you don't throw the graham crackers in there. It's totally up to you, because guys, these are really sweet. I literally just put one full sheet graham cracker in there and that was enough. But if you're someone that really likes the sweetness, maybe you want to crush up your graham crackers, which, by the way, how I put the graham cracker in there is I literally just put it in a Ziploc baggie and then I just crush it up and smush it into like really small crumb sizes, and I threw it in there. But honestly, guys, there's people that make this recipe where then they roll the entire ball in the graham cracker crumbs on top of that. Then it gets really, really sweet, and you have to think this is adding more sugar, adding more calories. But, you know, to each his own, whatever purpose you're using them for. Maybe you're just making them for an event and you're enjoying them on a cheat day and you don't really give a crap. So that's totally fine. But guys, it's really simple. I love these. So do me a favor, as you guys are watching, I've done the chocolate espresso protein balls. I've done, what else did I do? I think I just made I did ones with date paste in them, just to kind of show you guys a little bit of a difference if you didn't want to use as much nut butter or any at all. Then I did s'mores. Guys, tell me what types of things you would love to see incorporated in a protein ball. Do you want to see fruit in there? Like, do you want to see like dried fruit? Do you want to try and see if I can get beans in there? I know there are some that are made with different types of beans. You can make stuff with like avocado. Like, it's really, really neat, all the different things in there, but I want to be able to make them so that you guys are like, hey, it's a little bit different. You know, we've had some of the same ingredients in here. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll bring some new recipes to you. So that was just one of the recipes that just launched in the recipe vault of the Biohacking Bombshell app. So if you guys haven't already gotten your free 7-day trial, go and try it for 7 days. If you don't like it, go ahead and cancel, and you don't pay a penny. So try it for 7 days. Check out all the recipes. They're general and plant-based. I know that Patty's going crazy right now. I know she's so excited to try these. I can't exactly read everything that she said, but I promise I'll answer you, hon. And then, guys, you can always modify this to make it go for someone that's gluten-free or not. Like I said, Pamela's are an awesome graham cracker that does not taste like crap, even though it's gluten-free. So if you have any other questions, post them below. Any other ideas for protein balls and ingredients you want to incorporate, post them below. I'll bring something up for you, and I'm going to post the recipe in just a few minutes after this video uploads. So, hope you guys have a great day, and happy Friday.